welcome to Capricorn season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. I'm Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer, embodiment educator, and the creator of Embodied Astrology. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to order your 2025 Year Ahead Expanded Horoscope now. These 2-hour Embodied Astrology yearly forecasts for each sign go in depth with the most important transits, offering embodied suggestions for making the most of the opportunities and working skillfully with the challenges. You can order your 2025 reading by clicking the link below. If my work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free or help keep all of our offerings at EA financially accessible and sliding scale, please take a moment right now to like, follow, and subscribe to our channels. This is the #1 way you can help us grow. This season's horoscopes are intuitive offerings for each sign of the zodiac. I hope that they serve and support you in some way. Listen for your sun, moon, and rising signs. And remember that not everything is for everyone, so take what works, leave the rest, and make the meaning that's most meaningful for you. Thanks for being here. Onto your horoscope. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Capricorn season. Happy birthday if it's your birthday. I'm wishing you a wonderful new solar year to all of your Capricorn placements, Capricorn rising, Capricorn moon. So we are moving into a season that began with the solstice. The beginning of Capricorn season is one of the 4 important cardinal axis points of the year. This is a quarterly turning, and your sign initiates a season of change. And the kinds of change that Capricorn catalyzes are changes that happen on the earth and in the material landscape. Your sign is a sign that is deeply anchored also with the past, with tradition, with conservation and preservation of what is most important and what is most precious, and with history. To know where we have come from allows us to move into where we are going. A lot is changing, as I'm sure you are well aware. And a lot is changing in the world, and a lot is changing for you. In Sagittarius season, I was talking to you about the need to be quiet and to focus on your intuition and to allow what is not really fitting right, not really what you actually want, to fall away, so that you can make space to hear the new call that's coming in, what actually wants to guide your direction in some new ways, on new paths. And Capricorn season continues that kind of message, although I think for a lot of you there is more clarity coming in, particularly when it comes to the realms of your relationships and what you want and what you need in order to show up in the ways that you want and need to, and in the ways that are going to be most beneficial to your long-term outcomes. There's a larger current of change that's happening for you right now that really has to do with you needing and being very ready for a kind of update in what I'm going to say is your foundation. This can include really practically your home and where you live and how you're living, who you're living with. So we have notions of family and chosen family, as well as communities and networks. And then on a deep level, on a more subtle, energetic, spiritual, and psychological level, we have you feeling steady and stable and centered and a sense of your own belonging. And human beings need belonging, we need relationship, and we need to have some kind of sense of where we are and who we are, because otherwise life is totally bonkers and we will lose our sense of sanity very quickly. And I think a lot of you have probably experienced that, here or there, maybe for shorter or longer stretches of time. And I think a lot of you actually really carry internally a very potent and poignant sense of the importance of creating lasting bonds and building foundation, stability, and family with others. And so Capricorn season really starts to highlight these themes for you. And you are changing, and you are changing in what you want and what you need in these domains of your life. And I'm going to say that your perspective and your awareness is also really changing. And so some of the things that you used to think would create feelings of stability or security or home, family, and belonging for you no longer resonate. And in fact, some of those things that you used to think that you wanted, a lot of you are actually looking at and seeing that not only do you not want them anymore, but that those are part of some kind of larger pattern. And this could be a personal pattern inside your relationships and biography. It could be a familial or ancestral pattern. And there could be larger cultural patterns at work. And you are starting to see that some of what you were wanting and maybe working towards, actually, it oppresses you. Not only do you not want it, but it will actively harm you. And the pursuit of it perpetuates some kind of harm that is in the world, that might be moving through you, that's been in your family line or something like that. And so a lot of you, I think, are turning within, and you are looking at how do you heal? And in your healing, how do you contribute to larger healing in your ancestry, in your lineage, and in the world, so that you can experience greater degrees of health and well-being in the places that you call home and with the people that you claim and who claim you, right? Your people. So the first, I'm going to say like not quite 2/3, a little more than half of Capricorn season, from the December solstice all the way through the first week of January. I think that a lot of you and the world in general during this time, there's a lot of shifting pieces. There might be a feeling of overwhelm and confusion. A lot of things are changing fairly quickly. It is important for you to stay focused on why you're doing what you do. What is your why? And to really get deeply into that question, what is your why? What are your guiding principles? What are you actually in service to? What are your motivations, the psychology and the ideologies that compel you forward? Work your why. It's very easy for everybody to be convinced about the validity of their reasons why, but our reasons change throughout our lives, and you are in a moment of evolution. So the growth that you are looking for right now is in the ways that you practice curiosity and learning, in the ways that you open up your mind to new ideas and new potentials. Where I left you in Sagittarius season last month was with a meditation on reciprocity in your breath. You are breathing in connection with all life that has ever been on planet Earth. Your breath is generosity, and you are receiving that breath right now as you're listening to me. And I am receiving that breath right now. It's coming out through the channel of my voice. It is reaching you sometime unbeknownst to me in the future. And we are sharing breath. We are part of something much bigger than us. And there is so much that we can learn from this place when we tune in to our interconnections and to our relationships. A lot of you, a lot of you are learning a lot right now, and you are learning not only new things about the world and about other people and about relating. I think that a lot of you are learning a lot about your own mind. You're learning about your preferences. You're learning about your biases. You are learning about your limitations. And as you learn about what has kept you focusing or kind of perceiving certain things or not others, you are also learning about what will expand you. And so this is a period of time to notice what tickles your mind. When you have experiences of learning something new and you feel kind of excited and you're like, oh, wow, and you have like sparkles coming out of your eyes, that's a direction to pursue. This is a time not to dwell upon where you already feel competent, where you already feel a sensation of expertise, where you already know what's there. This is a time to look towards the unknown. And Capricorn placements, and everybody has Capricorn in their chart, but especially Capricorn identified people sometimes can have a real hard time being with what they don't know and what they're not good at yet, and letting go of feelings of competency. Now is the time that you will benefit from that. So the more that you ask questions, the more that you allow things to be messy, confusing, unknown, bring that into your relationships. Don't perform certainty. Don't push forward even though you're feeling doubt. Pause. Be with the unknown. And allow yourself to rework some of your ideas about what you have been so certain about, and let go of what is superficial inside of those ideas. Because I think that inside of your certainty, there's like a crust and there's a core. And the crust has taken the form of superficial material conditions. But the core is an energetic quality. And that's the place to penetrate. That's the place to get really curious right now. When you think that you know something, what is the feeling of what you are tapping into? What is the subtle spiritual guidance that is bigger than anything that your mind could possibly grasp, that is leading you somewhere? Moving towards the new moon on December 30th. This is a new moon in your sign at 9 degrees Capricorn. It is conjunct with the asteroid Pallas. This is a new moon that is bringing in the capacity to see larger patterns at play. So quietude, meditation, being with the unknown, being with your breath, allows you to kind of rise up above the fray of confusion and societal noise right now and see how larger patterns are at work and how those patterns connect across dimensions and flow through your life. This is also a new moon to really practice regulating your own energy and tuning in with grace and generosity. The symbolic presence of this new moon degree is a person feeding a bird from their hand. And so if you imagine that you might be a person who could connect with the more than human realms through your quietude, through the peace that you radiate in your body, through your appreciation and curiosity for their life, that's the kind of energy that you want to be cultivating around the end of December. This is also the period of time when Mercury is going to leave its retrograde shadow. And as we move into the first week of the new year, there is a lot of enthusiasm. I think a lot of people are really kind of on fire. They are charged with particular kinds of vigor. And this vigor has a lot of warriorship feelings inside of it. And I want to encourage you to be a warrior for your own liberation, as well as a warrior for the protection and the well-being of the whole. And here, I'm really asking you to tune in with the earth and with the more than human realms. How can you be here in a way that allows you to feel that you belong to the earth? People, especially people who speak English and live in places where English is spoken as a primary language in the Western and Northern hemispheres, are people who often talk about owning land and believe in this, right? Like it is a cultural value, it's a desire that a lot of people have, and it certainly provides a lot of stability, generational wealth, etc. But it is also a delusion. We cannot own the earth. The earth owns us. We belong to the earth. Our notions of ownership are definitely societally enforced. There's part of some larger fantasy that they belong to, but they are also delusional in many, many ways. And they can keep us really locked in individualism, in scarcity mindsets, in competition, and in fear with one another. And I feel like you have a stake to claim in something right now. And so there may actually be a feeling of you having a strong sense of protectiveness or ownership when it comes to physical space, land, family, belongings, who you are in your spirit, etc. And I want to say that you will be fortified and anchored and supported when you connect yourself to a greater sense of belonging. Rather than focusing on what you can accumulate and own, focus on what you are an offering to. Where does your presence enrich the well-being of others? How does your generosity give back in ways that allow for greater abundance and bounty and creativity? When you anchor in this kind of reciprocity, you attract generosity towards yourself. And this then goes back to what I was saying. Be curious about what's going on out there. Because when you're curious and when you move towards others with an attitude of you have something to give and you don't know the right way, you're not trying to be the only leader, but you can pitch in, you can lend yourself to the cause, then doors open for you. And as we move into the last half of Capricorn season, the energy really starts to shift. And what has felt like a very fiery, charged time takes on a kind of deeper, more somber, more emotional tone. And I think that many of you are really investigating the landscapes of relationship and communication and need and bonds and exchanges. And now is the time that needs you to really be feeling the interconnections, the give and take, the receiving and the giving, the reciprocity, right? The shared breath. And inside of that shared breath, there is a lot of room for you to have boundaries, for you to have needs, for you to be available and curious about other people's boundaries and needs. There are needs for negotiation that are emerging at this time, particularly around any new collaborations, any new partnerships, any new agreements, or old collaborations, partnerships, and agreements that need to change in some way. And your life is calling you right now to up-level your communication capacity. And what that looks like to me is increasing your empathy, cultivating embodied attunement, trying to let go of ideas of rightness, and also to soften critique. But inside of that, really to build also true self-love, dignity of your spirit, so that when you come to spaces where there might be conflict or there might be needs for negotiation, you can be centered in your own needs, you can be respectful of others, you can hold your own dignity and hold others in their dignity as well. And hopefully this allows for your negotiations and your relationships to evolve in good ways. And the feeling that I have for you right now is that you benefit so much from breath, from pause, and from cultivating very deep skills of listening. And listening means listening to your own heart, listening to your own body, mind, and also listening to others. This is a period of time when a lot of people are making preparations and thinking about what is coming next. I think a lot of you are as well. This is a period of time when you are moving into a really significant new chapter and you are letting go of the last 16-year phase of your life. And you really want to be mindful of what are you taking with you and what are you leaving behind? What are the commitments that you are embodying and what are you going to leave on the altar to sacrifice, to make sacred, to offer to the universe and back to the earth because it no longer serves you? Capricorn, the full moon on January 13th is a really powerful time to tune in with relationality in general. I'm thinking about how Buddhists sometimes encourage us to meditate on the idea of reincarnation and the possibility that we have all been each other's mother in another lifetime. As you work through whatever your life is calling you to work through in the realms of relationship and exchange and reciprocity and agreements, I hope that you can find support and nourishment through your body, through your heart, through the ways that you are connected and deeply, deeply belong here in the great web of life. I'm wishing you all the best in your season and beyond. Bye for now. Thanks so much for listening to your Capricorn season reading. If this horoscope resonated for you, please show your support by liking, following, and subscribing, and by sharing this work with your friends and community. And if you want more, don't forget to order your 2025 year ahead reading, where I go in depth with the big picture and main themes of this year for your sun, moon, and rising signs. This season, I hope you'll join me for Somatic Space, which is a class I offer every Monday where we prepare ourselves to work with the astrology of the week ahead through gentle healing body practices, breathwork, meditation, and visualization. You can drop in once to try it out, or if you become a member, you'll also get access to the past classes video archive, as well as Tea Time, which is a monthly meetup and conversation space where we learn and share how astrology is moving through our lives. You can find more information about working with me and other Embodied Astrology events in the show notes or through the study section at embodiedastrology.com. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for listening and engaging. I truly hope to see you in an Embodied Astrology space soon. Bye for now.